What's going on, everyone? Thank you again for joining me on another episode on this channel. In today's episode, we're talking Avengers Part 5. Now, we don't know exactly when Avengers Part 5 is going to be coming out, but we do know that it's going to be extremely different from the other Avengers movies. Kevin Feige is all but confirmed that. Well, actually, he did confirm that here. And the title of this article says Avengers 5 will be a very different team, says Kevin Feige, which is not a surprise with the events of Avengers Endgame. Tony Stark, Iron Man, is dead. Captain America, Steve Rogers, is old now, so he's definitely not coming back. And the MCU is going into a completely different route from what we've known before and what we have loved. Let's face it, the Avengers, they were great. It was a great time to be a comic book movie fan. But those days are long over, and Kevin Feige is taking the MCU into a different path. A path that I think a lot of people aren't going to be on board with. Now, he says this, it will be a very different team than we've seen before, Feige confirmed. That's what Endgame was all about. It was a very different incarnation of the team, with some people you've already met and some people you haven't met yet. But we all know what's going to happen here. We all know who is going to be the new lead of the Avengers. I don't even know why they're even calling this the Avengers. I guess they just need the name recognition because for the most part, it won't be the Avengers. I mean, think of it, an Avengers team without Iron Man, without Captain America. I'm not even sure Spider-Man is going to be back with that. I'm not sure how it's going to work with Sony or not, who's getting the rights now or what. I really have no idea. But I think now with this new agenda that the MCU has, it's all about pushing out these old classic characters, bringing in these new ones, unless, you're a minority. So like Black Panther will be back for sure, and they're going to introduce Blade into this. I have no doubt whatsoever. But if they're trying to sell the Avengers movies without Captain America, Spider-Man, and Iron Man, it's not the Avengers. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna work. But it could be something else. I wouldn't call it the Avengers, but they're gonna continue to call it the Avengers. Who will make up the new team in Avengers 5? With the release of Captain Marvel, Feige hinted that Brie Larson and Carol Danvers would be taking the lead. Captain Marvel is about to take the lead and be the forefront of the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, so he said it is right there, is set in stone. I don't know if she's going to be able to carry the MCU forward. I really, really don't. She is not on the level of Iron Man. She is not on the level of Spider-Man. She is not on the level of Captain America. But since the MCU now is going on this woke route, it makes sense that she would take the lead. Thor, I don't think he's going to be there because they're going to this route of female Thor now, the mighty Thor, whatever you want to call it what you want. Jane Foster, she can actually end up on this team as well. Now, in the comic book, I think she actually dies in the comic book, but I don't think that the MCU is going to go that route. I think they absolutely want to replace Thor, Chris Hemsworth, with this character. So once you have all these new movies coming out, they're going to end up releasing the Avengers 5. So I'm thinking that Avengers 5 is going to happen probably like around 2023. This phase 4 of the MCU is a short phase, it's only 2 years. And then they're going to get into phase 5. And actually Blade comes out in phase 5. So after those movies that come out and they do so much damage to the MCU, I think Avengers 5, there's a real shot that Avengers 5 could fall flat. Once they realize that the fan base won't embrace the wokeness, it'll be too late. Captain Marvel 2. It's not happening in this phase either, so we're a couple of years away from that. So I fully expect for Captain America 2 and Blade to come out before we actually see an Avengers 5. But like I said, the damage will have already been done. The MCU is going on this woke path. They're destroying all of the classic characters. And fans are not gonna like that. I know I don't like it whatsoever. I'm not on board with this. I have really no interest in the MCU going forward. Blade sounds interesting, but I highly doubt that Mahershala Ali will be nearly as good as Wesley Snipes. For one thing, the martial arts part of it, that may be a challenge because Wesley Snipes is a trained martial artist and he's gone. But I'm hoping that they can deliver on these movies. I really do. But the agendas, that's the problem. I have so many problems with the agendas that they keep pushing. It's okay to be a male. It's okay to be a white male's comic book superhero. It's okay for that, you know? But the way they did Thor was embarrassing. It was not cool, if you ask me. So this Avengers Part 5 is going to be female driven. Once they completely destroy all of the male characters, Captain Marvel is going to take the lead, and it's not going to look anything like the Avengers. It's going to be something completely different. Now, I have to give DC credit. If you look at DC versus MCU, one thing that DC is not doing, they're not destroying their classic characters. They're embracing, a new Superman actually right now. I don't know how good it's going to be. I'm not saying any of these movies are going to be good or that they were good, but they're not trying to destroy these characters as of yet, I should say. Batman is still Batman. Superman is still Superman. Wonder Woman was great, and Wonder Woman was great without them having to say, this is a female, you should like her. That's what the MCU is doing, and that's the mistake that they're making. So guys, what do you think of this? Avengers Part 5. Should they even call it the Avengers anymore? And what is your excitement level for a new Avengers movie after all of the announcements that have come out for Phase 4 of the MCU? Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. If you're new here to the channel, please hit subscribe to catch future videos from me, and we will catch you on the next video. John Matrixx, out.